It is said that it is better to learn the reason why you failed than actually sit and bask in your failure. Welcome to Breaking the Enigma show, and I'm your host, Aerissa Stormrage. Now, you can like, react, drop your comments or opinions on my page, Aerissa Stormrage, Breaking the Enigma. You can check it out on Facebook, you can see it on Instagram, TikTok, X, and do also follow and don't forget to share this video. Now, on today's topic, I'm going to talk about the biggest mistakes or common mistakes that most women make in their commitments, be it relationship or marriage. Now, I'm going to be talking about this extensively, so you can do well to also drop your opinions or what you think or what you might have learned, or if you have anything contrary to say in the comment section. Now, one of the reasons I have seen over the years, although I did not notice this, but as I tend to get older, I can put together my experiences and put together the experiences of a couple of you women have been with or have seen all through the years. And I realized that one of the first and important mistakes that women learn after their relationships or marriages have been broken is one. They always seem to realize that they have been looking for things in men or looking for things in a relationship that can change at any time. Now I'm going to say further on this. One of the mistakes that women make is looking for things that can change, seasonal things. For example, finances. Most women tend to look out for men who are financially stable at the moment, men who are rich, men who can provide them with all the lifestyle or the luxury they want, men who can take them out and cover them financially, pay their bills completely. I am not saying that it's totally wrong to find a man that can do this for you, but my opinion and my observation of all the women I've seen over the few years is that finance or financial stability is one thing that is so common and one thing that can change at any time. One, financial records and financial statistics do show that finances of people do change over time. Sometimes in the course of 1 year, someone can go through series of financial crises and challenges once or twice. If you're a woman that is looking or being bent on finances, that is just being bent on financial stability of a man or trusting your own financial stability to a certain point or completely, it is so wrong because finances is something that can change at any time. So if you're picking a man or if you're picking or you're trying to choose a commitment based on the financial stability of your partner or based wholly on if he's a rich guy or if he's gonna have money, you'll realize that a time will come in the relationship that the money is not gonna matter any longer. You're gonna find other things that you wish you should have in the first place, paid more attention to. You just get to realize that character and every other thing matters apart from money. And in the case of crisis or whatever it may be, you may have to understand, you also have to understand rather, that things can change. What if your husband or the current man you're with has an accident and can no longer foot your bills or loses his job or gets to have something negative happen to his finances? How are you gonna build up yourself? How are you? Because finances is one thing that can change. And the other thing that can change is physical looks. People are to understand that people add weight and they also lose weight. And people can change at any time. What if the same person you're actually getting married for their looks actually has a debilitating accident or has something that just tends to harm or upset the physical looks of a person? What's going to happen to your relationship? Physical looks can change at any time. Another thing that can actually change at any other time is behavior towards certain things, sexual practices or sexual habits. These are things that are not constant and can change over time. When you go for things in a person that can change at any time or can change, you're not going to have the full picture of that relationship and you're not going to see stability. And it's so, so true. So as a woman, you should be going for stability. You should be going for things that cannot change. Look for things that are so uncommon. That has to do with the person's personality, the character, the behavior, any other thing that you know that is unique to that person, that is unique, that you can use to quantify and say this is the reason. Because if you're going after wealth, you're going after finances, or you're going after physical appearance. Mind you, a lot of people have that. You can look around you and you can see many men that are good looking. You could see any man who is rich. You can get any man. These are things that don't define a person's responsibility in a marriage or relationship. These are things that don't define the ability at which a person can be loyal or stay faithful to you. And it cannot be used to judge character. Remember, finances, wealth, physical appearance, whatever it might be, status or whatever you're looking for, does not dictate someone's behavior, does not dictate the person's character. It does not really reflect how a person should and would treat you, and who would treat and the way the person would treat your children. Another mistake women make is not marrying for your children. When you're trying to when you're trying to be committed, when you're trying to be in a commitment in a relationship or marriage, you have to understand first and foremost that you have to marry a man who is going to be a good father to your kids. A lot of women make this mistake. They make this mistake over and over. You're not marrying because he's going to be good for you, he's going to be good to you. You're not marrying because it's all about you. You're marrying for your children also. Your children have to have a good father. Look, if you're getting married and the man you're getting married to is not going to be a good father to your kids, it's going to really destroy a lot of things in your family. It's going to destroy your kids psychologically, emotionally. It's going to be a serious problem for even you, and you're going to turn out to be a single mother who actually regrets her commitment or her past commitment. So women need to understand that when you're marrying, you don't have to be selfish. When you're getting into a relationship, when you're getting into a commitment, whether it be marriage or whatever you looking at getting into, you must always pick a man who is going to be family oriented, a man who is going to be responsible, a man who is going to be responsible for your kids, a man who is going to be a father figure to your kids in case kids come in. And because any man who can be a responsible man, who can be a father figure, any man who you're getting with that can be family oriented, will always be a perfect man for any woman. Because women do tend to look for father figures in any man they see. And once a woman is not seeing that father figure in that man, she goes berserk and she starts feeling like she's not treated well, she's not treated equally well, she's not being cared for, she's being abused. So we know that as women, father figures do shape our lives, and that's why we always want to be cared for. When a woman says, I want to be pampered like a queen, I want to be treated like a princess, I want to be comfortable in my marriage, I want the man to worship me, I want the man to be there for me, I want him to be masculine, I want him to protect me, I want him to provide for my needs, I want him to pay my bills, you can just see right through it that what she's actually projecting subconsciously or not or consciously is a father. When you're talking about a man who you want to take care of you all around emotionally, psychologically, all around, you want him to be there for you, you want him to respect you, you want him to care for you, you want him to love you unconditionally, you are projecting a father figure. That's what we all want as women. It's just there. That's who we are. We want father figures. So this was also reflect when you're getting married or when you're choosing to settle down with a man. You have to find a man who is family oriented. You have to find a man who is a father figure. Once a man is going to be good to his kids, there is 100% chance and likelihood that he's going to make a good husband. That is why I tell Lisa, see, when you see a man who is so kind to kids, when you see a man who is a father figure to any woman around him, just know very well that that man is going to make a good husband, that man is going to give you everything you want in a man. It's not about the physical look, it's not about the age, it's not about this money, it's not about everything that can change in a man or his status. We also find that these same women that go for status, wealth, looks and all that, we all find them complaining. A lot of men who are rich, a lot of men who are in high status, we could see the reality in the politicians. We could see a lot of men who women have sued, men of high ranking and high status that women have had terrible issues with because of the way they are being maltreated. So if you are going after a man because of his status as a woman, if you're going after a man because of his finances, you're going after a man you're going after a man because of the things that can change at any time, you're going to be like this woman in future. You're going to see, because the time is going to come when you're going to realize and you're going to see that you've made a big mistake, and that a man having everything that he ever wanted, like status and power and all that, does not constitute his ability to be a good and caring man for you or your kids. So If these same women who are having issues with this high class man or this high status man or this wealthy man, if you can see that these women are having the same issues with this man, then you get to understand, you can sit back, lay back and understand that these women already know they have made the wrong decision, and they already know that for the fact that they're actually fighting for their voice or for their voice to be heard because of the cruel things this man has done to them, you can actually see and realize and get to understand that they have not understood that it is not about the wealth. They have not forfeited, they have not forsaken the wealth and the pleasures and all that. And now what they are looking for is an actual man who is going to care. There's one thing a lot of women don't know, and I keep on saying it to them, and I will keep on saying it over and over again. Now, this is it. When a woman is being is brought before two types of men, a bad guy and a good guy. When I say a good guy, I mean a guy who is responsible, family oriented, a man who cares, a man who is kind, a man who is compassionate, a man who provides, who is nurturing, who is loving, who respects his woman, who respects his partner, who doesn't lay hands on her. On the other hand, there is the bad guy presented to her who's got all the looks, who's got all the money, who's got all the ego, who's got all the self-esteem, who's got everything that he thinks makes him a man. You can see that first thing that happens is the woman at first tends to bend to this other guy who has everything that is flashy, because women are naturally attracted to what they see, which includes the man's bank account, the man's physical looks, and all etc etc. So when the woman just gets so hooked onto this man and she starts going with the man, along the line she's going to realize that there are a lot of voice in her that this man can't feel. There are a lot of things that she wished that she actually would want that this man is not giving to her. And then that's where the turning point comes, because she realized that, yeah, this other man who is supposedly kind and who is a family man and who is a kind man, she understands that, yeah, he might not have everything that glitters that could make her feel like she is on top of the world, and we can make her feel so validated by other females, or make her feel like she is arrived. She can see that this man doesn't have any of that, but then she understands that he has the basic things of life. Most women never understand how much mistakes they have made until they start reaping of the mistakes and reaping of the evil things or the negative things that their poor choices have brought onto them. And that is when women tend to sit back and they themselves realize that they have been wrong all this while. And they just realize that what they wanted all along is a man who can take care of them, respect them, and also provide for them. So that's where they're going for. Now, secondly, women make a mistake feeling that they can change a man even after seeing the red flags. Look, I keep telling women this. Red flags, that's why it's called a red flag. A red flag is a red flag. It cannot be changed. Red flag is a warning. It's a beacon, it's a warning. It's like a siren telling you danger, danger. So I don't see why you should jump into it. If you meet a man who is very, very abusive, one thing as women we fail to understand is that abusive men cannot change. And even if they change, you're not going to be the one to make them change, because there's a reason why they are abusive. There is a history that provokes the ability to be abusive to a woman or certain women. So what you should do as a woman is walk away. You cannot change a man that is very abusive, whether he be physically abusive, whether it be emotionally abusive, whatsoever you want to call it. You walk away. The feeling and the mindset that as women we can change a man and turn him from his bad ways to his good ways is what makes a lot of women fall into difficulties and hardships in life. Is what makes a woman go through pain or go through what she is not supposed to go through as a woman. You cannot change anybody. The only change that can occur and can go completely well in a person is if the person decides to wake up one morning and say, yeah, I want to be a changed person, then he or she can be changed. But for the fact that he or she has not decided to change, it's a red flag. Change does not come from external, change comes from within. A person can only change within himself before he can reflect outward. So you cannot change a man. If you see red flags, they are red flags. Run for it. Don't try to feel like you can change this person. You cannot change this person. There are certain traits or things or behaviors or characters in a person or things that come out from a person that you cannot manipulate, you cannot change, you cannot fix. And that is when you should walk away. You should walk away. Okay, a man who cheats, a man who is a serial cheat is something that cannot change. A man who is abusive is a character in him that he cannot change. A man who lies a lot. Generally, people who do this have the tendency to go on doing this without having a break of change in their life. So you should just walk away. You can't change anybody. If the man is not willing to work on himself and change himself by himself and absorb the amount of effort you're putting into that relationship and into him, if he's not ready to accept that, walk away, because at the end of the day, it's all going to come back to you. You're going to be the victim. I know you want to help him. I know you want to reach out to him, but at the end of the day, he's not going to see it that way. He is going to rather victimize you, because you cannot suppress these urges. You cannot suppress this negativity. You have to walk away and then fight from afar. You have to walk away and talk from afar. You got to let this man go for therapy. Let him go for counseling. Let him fix himself. Let him be a man. Stop trying to think you can change. Look, there's something I usually tell people around me. I say it is easier for a woman to change her ways than it is easier for a man to change his ways, because men are egoistic by nature. Men are fixed by nature. They always know what they want. They're intellectual. You cannot change them. That's what masculinity is all about. That's why they're men. You cannot change. But a woman can easily bend and change because of her nature, because of her nurturing nature, because of her emotion, because of how she's wired or how she functions or how she feels. Women are being ruled by emotions, men are not. So you can imagine a person who is ruled by emotions is someone who is likely to change easily and just transform into something new. But a man, on the other hand, who is not ruled by emotion but rather ruled by the intellect or the action, by his actions, is someone who it's so difficult to change, because it is just that way. You cannot change it. The fourth thing is women fail to work on themselves. When a woman fails to work on herself, what I mean when I say when a woman fails to work on herself, it has to do with value. A lot of women don't give themselves value. When I say value, they begin to think, oh, giving ourselves value has to do with being independent, getting money for ourselves, working and providing for ourselves, being masculine and not trying to do everything and protect ourselves. That is not value. A high value woman is not a woman who actually has a lot of cars. It's not a woman who actually feels a lot of men want her. It's not a woman who bends to different men in the quest to validate herself or validate herself before others. That is not a high value woman. And this is where a lot of women get it wrong. A high value woman is a woman who understands her worth and her place in a marriage, her place in a commitment, or her place in the society. That is a high value woman. A high value woman, or a woman of value, is a woman who understands that, yeah, I'm beautiful, I'm a woman, but yeah, my beauty, and just because I'm beautiful doesn't mean I have to fuck around. That doesn't mean I have to sleep around. I have to preserve my beauty. I have to preserve my body, because it's my body, and because it's my body is the vessel in which I operate, is the vessel in which I can do everything physical in this world. This is all the reason why I need to protect my body. A high value woman is a woman who protects her body. Is a woman who respects her virtues. Is a woman who respects her principles. Is a woman who respects her body. She understands that she is not a toy to men, and she understands that she cannot be bought. And a woman who knows that she is priceless, and she's worth so much than gold or money or cars, is a high value woman, because she understands that no amount of money can buy her. No amount of money can buy her favor. No amount of money can buy her body or buy her legs open. That is a high value woman. A high value woman is not a woman who goes around sleeping around every junction when a man just presents her with something. That is not a high value woman. A high value woman is not a woman who is ready at any point to just give herself or give up her body or her virtues in exchange for power, in exchange for something. She understands that she's priceless. A woman of value, secondly, is a woman who knows what she wants. When you're a woman and you don't even know what you want in the first place, that is completely off everything altogether. Because you see yourself making mistakes, and because you don't know what you want as a woman, you cannot define your value. You cannot have a value because you don't even know what you want in the first place. And that is a big problem for a lot of women. Women who don't even know what they want find themselves going round in circles in their life. They find themselves falling up and getting up so many times, even when their male counterparts only fall once and get up. So we must know what we want, whether it be in the workplace, whether it be in our marriage, in our relationship, in our businesses, in our career life. We must always know what we want. A person a person who has taught himself or herself to actually know what they want at every point in their life, is a person who succeeds succeeds is a person who has determined that, yes, this is what I'm going to achieve. You can only achieve a lot when you know what you want. You can only achieve so much when you know what you want. And that is where value comes in. As women, we must learn to know our place in the society. We are the builders of societies. We are the ones where we are the vessels that children come into the world. We are the vessels that men come into the world. We are every single man that existed in this whole universe, in this whole world, was born by a woman. That is our place in the society. Our part in the society is to build, is to nurture, is to be so emotionally stable that we can grow anything and we can do everything perfectly given to us under our care. So we must know our place in a society. We must know that we are women. That is what we are. That is who we are biologically, emotionally, mentally, psychologically. This is our place. We should not try to fix ourselves in places that do not welcome us, in places that are not meant for us. Today, I see a lot of women trying to be masculine, trying to compete with men. It is so wrong in the first place. This is where we got it all wrong. A woman who knows her worth and her values, understands her weaknesses, and knows that there are places she cannot function in. When you as a person understand your weaknesses and your shortcomings, you'll become a better person because you understand quite well that there are things you cannot do and there are things you can do. And that limit is so essential for the human civilization because it makes us rely on people much better, and it makes us become better people. It makes us know and understand that teamwork is best. So when a woman understands that she can function in several parts of her life and she can do certain things in life, or she is only situated in one place, it makes her be a better team with her husband. It makes her value go high. It makes instead of her to actually be competing, which is actually negative for a woman. It's only men who are born to compete because they have what it takes to compete. But for a woman, it's so wrong to compete. So when you understand that this is your shortcoming, this is where you cannot do well, it makes you more submissive naturally. A man or a woman who understands their shortcomings and who know that they are not perfect and they have things that they cannot do well, become a submissive without even trying hard to be. A woman who knows her place is a woman who doesn't have to strive for submission, who becomes just submissive overnight without her knowing she is. So we must know our place. We don't try to be equal to a man. That is so wrong. And that is the reason why I'm always against feminism. The reason is one, I do not like it when I hear that men are equal to women or women are equal to men. It just breaks down the whole thing. It just breaks down the whole chain of nature. A man is not equal to a woman. I don't see where, I don't see how they're equal. A man is not equal to a woman psychologically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, physiologically, biologically. A man is not equal to a woman. The birth pains that women go through, men cannot go through that. It's been tried, it's been tested, it's been assimilated. And the things that men do, the amount of mental strength a man has is not the amount of strength a woman has. And I keep reminding women all around me, stop trying to make yourself equal to men because you can never be equal to a man. It's simple. No woman would like to be thrown. Okay, you can see what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. You can see what's going on in the Israel and Palestinian war. I don't think any woman in her right senses would just like to be at the forefront of a war, dying, for freedom of people. A woman was not built like that. No woman would want to go to the Israeli and Palestinian war as a soldier to go fight. That is the duty of men. Gender roles do not come from societal construct. Gender roles come from the ability, the innate ability men and women have. It is so clear that a woman is a good homemaker, that a man cannot match it. Because a man does not have the emotional stability to be a homemaker. He doesn't have what it takes. He doesn't have the patience. All he is wired to do mentally is just to go after conquering, gathering, competing, and making sure he can fuel his ego and be comfortable. He wants a woman he can bend over and he can have sex with. But a woman is not wired that way. A woman is not just out there looking for a man to bend over, a man who can fuck her. She has other things that she puts her mind to do. And that's why I said women and men are not equal. Look, the thing is, if I am stuck If I am stuck in a robbery situation with a woman who is armed, and I am stuck in a robbery situation with a man who is armed, I think generally everyone is going to agree with me on this. They will tend to put their trust, even though they don't say it, they will tend to put their trust and their security and their heart into the man who is armed with a gun. I don't know why it's done that way. A lot of women will not agree with this, but it's the complete truth. They will always turn to the man for protection. Okay, you believe that a man and a woman is equal. Why don't you turn to the woman for protection? Because we all know that we are women, we are not that stable enough to handle it, and so to the men to protect. The same women telling you that they're equal to men, the same women telling you they don't depend on men are the same women who look for alimony when the man divorces them. The same women who complain as single mothers that they are not getting enough to take care of their children. The same women who complain that they're not getting the support of fathers and it's so difficult. Do you know how difficult it is for a woman to raise children on her own without a man? It is difficult. If you've never been there, you will never know. I myself I was raised by a single mother. I saw what my mom went through. I saw what my mother had to go through in the name of raising us up. And I saw how everything went downhill in as much as she tried to play the role of a father and mother. And I did understand as a child growing up and coming up, I understood the importance of a father in my life. And if I had a father in my life that had been stable and there for me, I would have realized my purpose in life and my value earlier than this. And I keep saying that even though you try so hard to play the role of a father and mother as a single mother, it cannot make the children satisfied. It cannot rule out the fact that a father is needed. And this is why a father is needed for protection, for validation, for the child to build his or her self-esteem. Another mistake women make is trying to be masculine. You can never be masculine. You are feminine, sweetie. Stay feminine. It's good to be feminine. It is not good to go and function. You are not masculine. You were not built to be masculine. Women who say, oh, I want a 50-50 split. I want to foot the bills. I want to be able to pay my bills myself. I want to do this. I want to do that. I can take care of myself. Good. If it's working for you, fine. But how long is it going to work for you? Someday, being the emotional, the embodiment of emotions that we are as women, we're going to tend to look for a man to lean on someday. We're going to look for a man to lean on. The same woman telling you that they can't do without a man, they are independent, they're not dependent on any man, oh, this is that. The same woman who in their old age or who in their middle age are actually crying, looking for men to lean on. They tend to look for their sons who are male figures. They tend to look for male figures who they can lean on. They start to feel alone. As a woman, you can never fuck yourself. I keep saying that you can never have sex with yourself. Sex is always complete when there is a man involved who can take you up and make you feel loved and caressed. And that is how a woman is wired. A woman was wired not to resist touch. A woman cannot resist touch and care. Our system, our nerves, we love to be touched, we love to be worshipped, we love to be cared for, we love to be pampered. That is who we are as women, and we cannot take that out of our nature. Another mistake that women make is communication. Once a marriage or a relationship is going to crash, it starts with the communication. When there is no communication between you and your partner as a woman, you're going down the drain of divorce or breakup, and it's not going to be good. It is communication that keeps a relationship together. There was a question I did ask one day. I asked to a couple of my friends, and I asked them, I said, if your marriage was to go down the drain today, or if you're having issues with your partner, or if you're having issues with your wife or your girlfriend, who is the first person that you should run to? And they said, oh, the therapist. Some of them say, oh, my mother or my father or the pastor. A lot of people said a lot of things. And I said, no, you're wrong. And here is the reason why I told them they are wrong. They are wrong because when your marriage is having cracks, when your marriage is going downhill, your commitment or your relationship is going haywire, everything is going south, the first thing you should do is talk to your partner. Two, it needs two to make it work. Two can only work together when they agree. So if your marriage is going downhill or your relationship is going down, you need to talk to your husband. You need to figure things out with him. You cannot build a perfect marriage outside of your husband. You cannot build a perfect relationship outside of the man, because it takes two of you to work. You can't do everything yourself. You can't love yourself enough. Someone has to always tell you in the morning that, hey, you're beautiful, before you know you're beautiful. No one actually realizes that they are beautiful in the middle. It is when someone goes out there on the street and a couple of people tell you, hey girl, you're beautiful. That's what makes a woman, that's what gives a woman confidence that she is beautiful. You need people. The actual thing that you really need is one person, which is your husband. You need to communicate with your husband. You need to explain to him, tell him how you feel, everything about you. Likewise, a man, when you open up to a man, the man instantly is going to open up to you. That is how men are wired. They open up to their women. When their women feel so vulnerable, they begin to love them more, because a man loves vulnerability of a woman. He likes to be protective. He wants to be the protector. So do tell your husband how you feel. Tell him what you're experiencing, what you don't like, the things that he does that gets you off. And when you do that, he can now narrate his dislikes and what you do that makes him feel off about you, and you two talk about it. Once you start talking about the things that make you don't like each other, what happens naturally is the tension begins to go down, because it comes to this point where you two now understand that this is the reason why you're having these issues. If I tell my sister and say, hey sister, the reason why I always have issues with is because you take things without my permission, she'll say, oh no, why should I take your permission before using your handbag? I'm your sister. I should be able to walk into your closet and take what I want. Instantly, the tension begins to go down instead of rise. No matter the argument that comes up from there, the tension just keeps reducing till you understand. And at that point, she has communicated to me what she doesn't like about me, and I have told her what she doesn't like about what I don't like about her. The same thing about the man. The woman have told your husband what you don't like about him, and he has told you the same. So in that case, as women, we must try to have perfect communication. And the mistake that we make as women is not having communication, proper communication with our husband. Your husband is cheating. Before, he was not cheating in the start of the relationship, but you found out he was cheating afterward. Have you tried talking to him? Have you tried communicating your problems to him? Have you tried asking him the reason why he's cheating? It is through the communication you cannot get from your husband the reason why he cheats. It might be because you just had children, and the responsibility of the kids is taking away your interest in him, or taking away your attention. It could be that you're not hygienic enough. It could be that you're no longer behaving the way you used to behave. It could be that your sexual urges have calmed down, your libido. It could be a couple of things, but when you actually ask the man this, he begins to spill it out, because that's how men are wired. Men are not wired to keep things in, especially when they love a woman. They just tend to just spill out the things that they wish you could be. So, as a woman, we must understand that we cannot do to our boyfriends, our husbands, what we don't want to be done to us. It's simple. So, these are the mistakes so far that consist of a majority of failed marriages, failed relationship. And I just hope that as you're listening to this, you're going to learn a couple of things, and to understand that it is better to learn from the past mistakes and past failures. And when you learn from them, you become better. So I do appreciate you guys sticking around for this show. And please always remember that it is better to learn from your failure than it is to bask in your failure. Don't forget, I'm still your host, Aerissa Stormrage. Do like and follow. Bye for now.